Hi, everybody. I wanted to take a moment just to share with you my pottery patterns. The one I'm covering in this video is the jewelry holder. This jewelry holder I use all the time in my kilns, and I designed it to fit into a scut firebox, so a tiny little kiln. But the beautiful thing about this is I made multiples of them, and I also use it in my 1227, my big kiln, and I just can stack them on top of each other. And I'll show you examples of that in a minute. So on the front of the envelope, you have an illustration of the finished product. There is the item number. So this one is 1 in the A series, so it's A0001. Here you have some specifications like height, width, depth, size, volume. And then down here is a QR code that will take you to my website. On the back side of the envelope, you have listed the contents of what's inside. So this illustrates the pattern pieces that you'll find inside, and specifically all the things that you'll need to complete the pattern piece. And then on this other side, you'll have a list of materials that you need that aren't included in the packet to complete the project. So in the case of the jewelry holder, one of the most essential things that is not included is Camthol wire. So that'll be something that you'll have to purchase before making this pattern. Inside of the envelope is 2 pages of Tyvek, which is a waterproof, tear-proof material. And the pattern pieces themselves are printed onto the Tyvek. There's directions and a key to kind of talk about the visual information that's happening in the pattern. So here's the piece itself, and you'll notice just like in the illustration of the envelope here, it has got a top piece and a cylindrical base. And then if you look at the top, you'll see all the little Camthol wire loops that are necessary to hang your beads or your earrings or your ornaments in the kiln. And this little S hook hangs on each one of these loops. And then on the S hook, you can hang your beads. So here is just a simple little bead with a loop in it. Or I have some that are a little more complex, like this one here, which is already on an S hook. I can hang that one as well. One thing you'll notice is that this longer piece here is going to set down, and it's actually going to touch. See how it's touching the board here? Well, that's going to touch down on the kiln shelf when it's firing. And I don't want that because I want to be able to glaze all the way around the piece. So in order to problem solve that, what I would do is I would just get some little stilts, some little kiln furniture, and I would just prop it up on 3 of those, and then you can see it swinging freely, once it's propped up, so it's not touching down. So that's something that you can do. Also, if you want to better utilize the vertical space here, if you have a ton of small pieces like this, one thing that I've done is I've altered the pattern using the pieces that just come inside that pattern so that I can create a layered or a stacked form. This one here, this one's been fired to cone 6 probably 50 or 60 times, and it's still like it was after the first time I fired it. So they hold up really, really well. This piece, I cut the vertical cylinder in half, and then I added 2 of the top parts and then just slipped and scored them together. And this is so I can fire more smaller pieces on one of these pieces of furniture. And although I slipped and scored this one together, the beautiful thing about these as well is you can just stack them on top of each other all the way up as high as you want, because the support from this is going to match up all the way up to the top of the kiln. So I could just have 20 of these in one large kiln load, just stacked from floor to ceiling in multiple pillars. So I think it's a really versatile form. It's, again, great for the kiln, for firing things that you want to glaze all the way around. I think that's all I have to say about the jewelry holder. You can find out more information on my website, jenniferallenceramics.com. Thanks so much for watching. Happy making.